There's more Japanese drinking in this New York City bar than American citizens. Who makes the better car? The Jewish stand-up comic states as he sips and sips sake. The yen are doing nicely. I am divine comedy. And the bartender, he offers me a critique of my songs. He says I get the message, but the verse goes on too long, and the words don't fit the music, and the music's out of sync. There's peaks and lotties, tension, surprise, release. Now the drummer sitting next to me is going deaf in one ear. He chuckles light and have some fun because no one wants to hear. You foaming at the mouth, boy, galloping to catch the 4 horsemen of apocalypse, war, famine, death, and pestilence. It's impossible to originate. I shout in my defense. If you take the story out of your song, you rob it of what it's meant. And the words don't fit the music, and the music's out of sync. There's peaks and valleys, lottie, tension, surprise, release. These sounds are signs. They fall in lines, babbling like nursery rhyme, conditioned by our wordless time around the bar. I cannot find, it's true. I finally lost my mind. And Donald Duck is jealous of Clark Kent Superman, and Lois Lane's on LSD with Daffy Duck in Disneyland. And the Japanese are laughing as Mickey Mouse, he jokes with Porky Pig at Warner Brothers. That's all, folks. Now, I meant nothing offensive to those aforementioned few. And to you Japanese, metaphysically, I'm with you. I hope you make $1 million. I pray you seek what's free. Today, I was so fortunate to go for Korean Lee. He operates his stand on St. Mark's efficiently. He sells sunglasses double in AAA batteries. I'm wrestling the bartender. I lose the drinks on me. There's an exodus from Manhattan all the way up to my hometown in Poughkeepsie. These sounds are signs, they fall in lines, babbling like nursery rhyme, conditioned by our wordless time around the bar. I cannot find, it's true. I finally lost my mind. It's called The Lunatic. It's been harder late. Getting up in the morning. It's been harder late walking the street. I don't know who to talk to. I don't even know where I'm gonna sleep. My friends, they've abandoned me. My folks, they've lost all hope. They say my mind's got this sickness. I tell them, no, it's just my heart. It's breaking in two. Well, there goes the lunatic. The bells, they ring loud and clear. I am the lunatic. Was there laughter before the tear? Was there laughter before the tear? How did I get inside these streets? And how will I escape if the exit and the entrance doors are both part of the same real estate? No, I don't belong in these sidewalks, girl. I don't belong in no shelter. I don't belong to no state, baby. I just belong in your loving arms. There goes the lunatic. The bells, they ring loud and clear. Ding dong. I am the lunatic. Was there laughter before the tear? Was there laughter before the tear? Yes, I am the lunatic. It's I, the cursed one. I'm also a force of nature, the full moon and the rising sun. Tonight, I want to shoot myself. The only problem is I can't afford a gun. Doctors, won't you heal me? Lay me down. Let me rest as one. There goes the lunatic. The bells, they ring loud and clear. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. I am the lunatic. Was there laughter before the tear? Was there laughter before the tear? Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Holy cow, what an amazing afternoon, early evening. You guys are brilliant. You're absolutely brilliant. So please unmute yourselves. And to our audience, you know, we're actually, we have a nice audience on YouTube and a good audience here. If you guys would just raise your hands, that would be great. And then you guys can just chime in and anything that you want. We have lots of questions. I just want to ask about our poets before we get going, if they want to share anything off the cuff about before we start getting into our whole talk back and Q&A. And do you have anything that you want to share outside of your poetry, this whole process, or what's been going on this past year? Quiet. Yeah, Shirley.
Well, it was such a diversity of poetry, of words. It was almost too much to absorb at one time. You just got into one person, and then a whole different ball game began, and it was really amazing.
I so agree. It was diverse and thought provoking and so solid. It was just yes. I probably won't sleep tonight just as I go over everything that happened actually today. So anybody else want to just chime in? Yeah. Go ahead, Elaine.
I want to know if Kevin has some smiles left. Louis says, yeah.
Smiles.
Smile for us, Kevin.
Great. And so our audience, you guys can either, if you want to comment, just raise your hand, or you could chat in, or you could jump with the Q&A. And that's it. How many of you guys are I mean, is this poetry a hobby, or is this something that you do frequently? I mean, have you been up? Have you been to poetry reads? I mean, how has all of this unfolded? Is anyone, Buffy, what's your poetry background?
I would say it's a serious endeavor of mine, and I started years ago writing long form fiction, and then I transitioned into short stories, and now I think I've found a medium that works for me in poetry.
Oh, that's great. Is there, and this is to a novice, is there something that poetry gives you that you can't get from a short story? You personally, Buffy?
I don't know if I would say it like that so much. It's just a different discipline. I'm really, I love the conciseness. I love the surprise that poetry can give you. But I love all forms. I love I love the Henry James novel, and I like the Alice Munro short story. So I'm all over the place in what I admire.
Your work is wonderful. Alan, I'm going to get to you in 1 second. I just want to ask, I know, Kevin, you and Smokey are both songwriters. Obviously, there's a direct connection between songwriting and poetry. Which came first, or did they sort of come simultaneously?
Well, most of the stuff I'm doing are songs, actually, that I find very, I'm going to bring some stuff in that are not songs, but I just, I believe that my songs stand as poetry.
Got it.
I like to have the belief that I do in that. So it's kind of interesting taking it from singing it or playing guitar with it. Like that song, The Lunatic, is at 3/4. There goes the lunatic.
Right.
But so it's so doing it with words, is challenging. And also because I'm an actor, I feel like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel I'm critiquing myself when I see these tapes, and
Mhm.
maybe I should just be like the English and just recite, make sure I hit all the points in the diction. It's clear, rather than be, emoting and scratching and crying and
Right.
belting and bellowing. And
Very powerful pieces today.
thanks. I enjoy the
Yeah.
process. I feel it's something it's just fun to do. It's something I've never done before, really.
Yeah.
Being a
Great.
poet, so
Really moving.
I mean, I find that as a general rule, but not totally. If it's got a chorus that you can sing it, then you make it a song.
Mhm.
If it's not, then it sounds like a poem. Or if it doesn't have the sensibility of something I'd want to sing or somebody'd want to sing.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Let me just jump to Alan really quick, and then we're going to go to Elaine. So Alan, go ahead. You're on.
Hey, thank you so much. I just wanted to echo what Shirley said. It's such a diversity of voice and theme and presentation, and it's so thrilling. I mean, I know Kevin some, and I'm good friends with Michael Cavanaugh, and Buffy Shutt is of my heart and one of the most
Great.
glorious women I know. And I have to say, to watch these people over several weeks, and that goes for everyone, develop and grow and present more and more of their work and become more and more what feels like confident is a real joy. And I really thank you, Todd, for going out of your way to
Absolutely.
include this because it is a kind of theater. It's spoken word. It's the beatniks understood that, right? The whole beat
Right.
generation, and I think the young kids and rap grew out of that as well. And I think it's really a joy to see this as part of theater and performance. And it works really well for Zoom because I personally am a little over Zoom plays, but we got a little more time to still do this because we're
Yes.
not ready to go back into the rooms yet. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. And I wanted to just thank you thank you all and send my deep regards to everyone.
Oh, thank you, Alan. We love having you here, and it's great. And yes, I know people are over Zoom plays, but don't be too over them yet. All right. Elaine, you were going to say something?
Oh, yes. I wanted to say the process for me often feels as if the poem comes through me. It's as if it comes from somewhere else. And when earlier, I think it was Buffy was saying the poem is knocking on the window or it's trying to get in or she's trying to avoid it. It's something like that for me. And a funny thing is that sometimes I will feel like I have the perfect rhythm and this word just that's the one I want to use, but the poem won't accept it. It's really annoying.
Wow.
But that's just what I wanted to say.
Great. Thank you.
You could save it for another one.
Sometimes that happens. Yes.
Michael, yes.
It's interesting for me because I've never written poetry. And when you first started talking about this, the first piece I did was, in fact, a song that I had written as a poem many years ago. But the last one we did, the Valentine's Day one, and this one, when the subject came up, I had no idea. And I had just kind of written it off. And then both times, I told you about this one, Todd, in the middle of the night, this is literally true. In the middle of the night, I woke up and started writing. And I had to get out of bed, literally into my office and start writing for about 2 hours. The next night, the exact same thing happened. I woke up, it's like the muse is giving me a shake. Otherwise, I never knew anything about poetry. I've been, doing this acting business for a long time, and I love doing other people's words. But when these inspirations about poems come, it's really fun to be able to come up with something that is mildly meaningful and enjoyable. And hopefully the folks are enjoying it as well as they are enjoying everyone's stuff. So it's been a unique experience for me. A
Pieces are
non-poem.
yeah, your pieces are terrific. So to me, it's like you've been doing it forever. So,
Thank you.
and Gerald James asks 2 questions. He says, "Is the mouse poem autobiographical? And if it is, how dangerous was it to tell?"
Yeah, I think it was autobiographical. Different phases of life. But I admit I did write it quite a while ago. I just thought that would fit the April Fools,
That was perfect. It was great. It was great. It was such a wonderful evening, and everybody. Shirley, did you have something to say?
I wanted to add on something Buffy said. For me, poetry is getting the point out in as few words as possible. I find a beginning, a middle, and an end, usually a punchline. I have done stand-up comedy, and I try to incorporate some of that into what I do. So yeah.
Got it. Got it. Well, it's all beautiful. So if I'm going to leave it up to you. Yes, Rick.
I was just going to add that Shirley's right. The comics love Charles Bukowski, who was a great, working man's drinking, smoking, drugging poet. And a lot of his poetry really translate. They look like a lot of them could be stand-up bits. So she's right.
Mm-hmm. Devin.
I just wanted to jump in here and say, just something Smokey was just saying is that different phases of I've written poems for really my whole life, and but different phases, sometimes it's code, like there was a phase when it was code, like it was a way of telling my secrets, was writing poems. And then I found a few years ago when all these dreadful things were happening, like 9/11, like Newtown, the massacre of children. I like Michael, I'd be awakened in the night and like, I have to write about this. This is the only way I can grapple with something so large and dreadful. But I also want to say, hey, Rick, that I was very embarrassed because I was laughing so hard during your story of your.
It was great.
So hard, I thought I'm going to have to leave my Zoom box.
Oh God, that's the best compliment you could pay a comic. Thank you, Devin.
I was like,
Anyway.
I actually jotted down Mom and Pa Kettle bleeding to death.
That was funny. But
That's what a comic lives for. I mean, that's like money, making you laugh. That's where it's at.
But I just want to say, Todd, I'm so grateful to you for, I don't know where this kooky idea came from, this foolish idea, but
it was wonderful.
So wonderful to get to know these other poets, and I really am so jealous of Kevin and that lighting thing he is going. Like,
yes, it's been so great, and I just want to share that it's not going away. I recognize that some people are burned out of Zoom, and we do have a little bit of our format is going to change slightly. We're not going to do as many productions a month. We'll probably just do 2 a month. And I think we're going to do poetry every time the seasons change. So look at this one as spring, and then our next poetry will be right around June for summer. So it's not going to go away. We're just not going to do as many.
So I can get a good night's sleep then.
Exactly. No, so you can get a lot of paper and pens. We're expecting a lot from you, Michael.
Yeah,
So,
right. Now we can go to
Stu Berg, that hand just popped up. So I'm glad to see you in the house.
Well, I'm glad to be in the house. First of all, I thoroughly enjoyed you guys. I found that I've always liked poetry, and of course I kind of grew up on the Charge of the Light Brigade and the face on the barroom floor and all these things, which basically were stories that were told in rhyme and rhythm. And what I like now is that I find, as someone who's listening to poetry, that I'm challenged I hear the poem and I want to know what that really means to the person who wrote that poem. So it's one of the it's a more interesting way to have your audience or your reader or whatever term you want to use to involve themselves in the work that you do. And some of them are funny and some of them are sad and some of them seem to be easy to understand. But everything that was done had a certain meaning, and there was something of each of you in it that were keeping me on my toes to what exactly it is that you're saying. So in that respect, I want to tell you how much I thoroughly enjoyed everybody's work. So thank you for a lovely, lovely afternoon.
Thank you, Stu.
Stu.
Thank you, Stu. Good. Can't wait to see you again in the theater.
I'll be there.
Good deal. Good deal. Gina Costa, our own Gina Costa.
Hey, you guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hi. Oh my gosh. This is, are we 3 for 3? Is this our third poetry?
This is it. 3 for 3.
Okay, I'm 3 for 3. And it's just, once again, just a wonderful cavalcade of words and imagery. And watching a poet recite their own poetry is really kind of great because you get to see all that in between stuff with their faces, their lips, their eyes as they're experiencing their own poem. It's really quite great because obviously most of the time with smartphone, the writer is left to the side and the actors are up front. So to watch you guys work your own words, you're really working your own words. It's really beautiful. And I have to say, no one can write a poem about a goldfish like Elaine Madsen. Elaine and I shared a very special relationship with a goldfish a couple of seasons back before the world shut down. There's a lot of hidden craziness in that woman, and it's arresting. It's arresting, and I will say, Kevin Kelly, one night after he had, I wrote a short play for the PD unit called The Lucky Mouse. And Kevin caught me in the parking lot after, and he goes, "Hey, I got a poem. It was called Mice on Ice. I had to freeze some mice because it was so fucking cold in New York one winter." And I was like, "Oh my God, who are?" Yeah, so somewhere in Kevin's, brain pan, there is a poem about mice on ice. Speaking of mice, but thank you so much. And Michael Cavanaugh, I love when you say you've got to wake up because that muse just keeps tapping at you, and they will not let you rest. They won't. So thank you guys so much again. Can't wait for the summer edition. Woohoo!
Thank you, Gina.
Thank you, Gina.
So great to hear from you. Gerald James.
Yeah, I got a question for Kevin.
Sure.
Can you hear me? Yeah?
Yeah.
Kevin, with the current times with Japanese abuse and stuff like that, what was that like to do that poem? And how current is that poem?
Oh, that's a good question. I actually did it in the rehearsal that we had yesterday because I wanted to not be, I wanted to not, because I know we're in a sensitive time with the Asian Americans, but it was really about me and me being drunk with the sense of everything that was off kilter, So I don't know, it's kind of it was me coming out of a drunk when I used to drink in Greenwich Village in a bar with Jack Kerouac and Ginsberg and all the poets were there. And when I came to, it was like the whole bar was full of Japanese people. So that's where I went home and I wrote the song Drunk. There's more. And so that's where that came from. But, when I did the poem, I thought to myself that the spirit of the poem and the heart of the poem is not offensive. I also talk about the Jewish comic, and the Korean guy who's In New York, there's a little bit more, there's a Korean guy and a Japanese guy and a Jewish guy over there, and so that was the spirit of the poem. But I don't know. I felt, I don't know. I think that sometimes our political correctness can
Stifle.
I don't know. I don't know what I can do, but we could all be neutral and just walk around and just become like, I don't know. But I hope I didn't offend anybody. I hope the spirit of the poem, if it was received, was more about me, not about.
Yeah, that became evident as it was going on.
Oh, good. Well, good. Then I did my part.
But it really was a shocker to pull in.
Well, good. Then that's good too.
Yeah, I guess
taking off my clothes next time. That'll shock you.
What was the bar? Was it the White Horse?
The bar?
Yeah, the White Horse.
No, but I know that bar. I know the White Horse.
Yeah.
I haven't saw it. I used the White Horse, but yeah, no, it was a bar in Greenwich Village. I forget the name of the bar. It's right on St. Mark's Place. I forget the name of the bar, but it wasn't long. It was at the end of my drinking career. Began to end, So I was, I was like, and I think I was having delirium tremens or something when I wrote it. So
quite a
plus the
time.
performance, that I've.
That's amazing.
But anyway,
Yeah, that's amazing.
thanks.
Guys, unless anybody else wants to chime in, I'm going to call it a night. And if anybody has anything else to say, just stop me. And I did mention that that we're going to try to do that. We will do this every time the seasons change. The Smartphone Theater, we just celebrated our 1-year anniversary. So we began on March 27th. We did our anniversary. Yeah, yay to us. So we did our anniversary on March 26th, which was wonderful. Gina Acosta did a beautiful, beautiful production called the Huntsville Gun Show, and it was amazing. And then starting next week, we have a whole new season coming up. We're only going to do a couple a month instead of one every week. So there's going to be a few other changes as well that you'll see. So check the website. Again, we still want your support. We live by your support. So please donate whenever possible. And we need you. And so far, you guys have been great because that's why we're still on a year later. And who knows what else we may have. Somebody brought up spoken word. I'd like to do a spoken word night, which is going to change it up a little bit. And who knows? I mean, there's going to be a lot of things. This platform is also going to be very evident to try new things. So as the theaters open up, if playwrights or anyone else for that matter wants to try out new work before it actually goes onto a stage, this platform is going to exist for that. So I'm keeping the doors open. People email me. I still get plays all the time. People email me if you have any questions or if you think you have some work that might be great for this, just to try out, just so you could hear it out loud. We also may have a really cool surprise for you next month. So again, check the website for that. So everybody here, on all of our poets, first of all, tonight was brilliant. Thank you guys so much. Secondly, I am going to send you a quick link. So check your email, and we're going to have just a nice congratulations, Mazel Tov, happy Good Friday, and happy Easter, everybody. Just toast. So check your email about 2 minutes after we all say goodbye. And again, does anybody have any parting words before we go?
Thank you.
Thank you, Todd.
You're the greatest.
Thank all
Thank
of
you
you.
too much.
Love you, Todd.
Thanks,
Okay.
everybody.
Really
All
great.
right. Excellent. Bye, everybody out there. And to the poets, I'll see you in about 2 minutes. Okay?
Okay.
Thanks, everybody. Okay.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye.
Merci beaucoup.